Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to make one of these lovely blooms. Now, I've already made two and you've probably seen them already on my Facebook page. That was the first one, and that I used ordinary card and I distressed it with squeezed lemonade, distress ink, and then formed the petals. Now I cut these out on my Cameo, and this was the petal shape that I used, like so, and it's just an ordinary piece of cream card. For the second one, which I've already splattered in blue paint, this time I used watercolour card and just dipped them in the watercolour paint, which I'm going to show you how to do. And obviously I've used stickles just to finish them off, because I think a little bit of twinkle doesn't hurt. So to start off with, I've already got some that I've done, but I want to show you how I did this. You can see how roughly I cut these out. Just an ordinary piece of watercolour card. I've made the shape, and hopefully you'll see this okay, like so. And then with one of these, really the children's scissors, aren't they? I've actually serrated the edge. Now you could use any shape you like, and I think it gives quite a nice effect. So that's all I've done with that. And then to get the watercolour paint on there, I've got my spritzer. And you need to kind of saturate this quite well. It's watercolour card, so obviously it takes the water beautifully. I've already got some ink here that I had before, and it's just a case of dipping it in until you're happy with the results. You could use a paintbrush if you wanted to, just to put a bit more paint on, but I actually quite like that sort of random effect. And then the idea is that you use your tool, your Marion Smith bloom impression tool, to make the shape. So depending on where you put your petal will depend on where the indentation is. So if I roughly put it over the middle and then go over the top, press it down and just give it a squidge, a bit of a twist, and then you get that shape, which is rather nice, isn't it? So that would be your first petal. Now I found that with the watercolour card this actually flattens out a little bit, and if you look at the ones I've done, you can see the difference between the two. But so you could put them back in there and shape them again. Look how easily that's shaped, or just leave as is, which I will do with the ones I've got. So then all I did then was to get my distress ink, and this time I'm using the peacock feathers, just to give it a bit of a difference really. Let's move those scissors out of the way, and just go around the edges. These are dry. They took about 5 minutes outside in the lovely sunshine today, and depends how much you've saturated them, I suppose. Now obviously we don't get very many blue flowers, but I thought it'd be an interesting colour for you guys to see. And I quite like the turquoise effect around the edge. And we'll just give that some inking. See, with the red one I did earlier, I used some red watercolour paint, and I used the worn lipstick distress ink. And obviously if you've got a die that cuts out petals, then great. As I said before, the first one I did, I used my Cameo. Great, that's fine. Let's cut them by hand. If you haven't got access to a die cutting machine, or you don't have any dies, you can cut them by hand. It's no problem, is it? And I do love this distressed random look. I think it really finishes them off beautifully. I do like the scalloped edge. I thought that would be something a little bit different. So there we go, they're all distressed. Now I'll just put my trusty hot glue gun on, and hopefully we'll have enough power. If not, I shall have to start all over again, but there we go. So you could cut a little circle now, and I will do that. Let's get some card. Now you could cut a little circle to lie your... It's a kind of just like a guide really, to lie your petals on. We'll do that, because that's what Marion Smith suggests. And all you need to do then let's put this where you can see it, is fix these all around the edges. Now I have got some smaller ones in there. This is what happens when you cut them by hand. Now I'll keep those for the middle. So just work your way around the circle, building up your flower. And obviously these flowers can be any colour you wish. It'd be lovely if you were making a table centre decoration, Christmas time. Can you imagine what they would look like? Absolutely gorgeous. So that's rather a large flower. And then just go round again, building up your layers. And this is, as I said before, this is watercolour card, so it is incredibly tough, and you will have to sort of really work hard at shaping these. I mean, they're great when the paper is wet. It's dead easy, but as they dry, they're so crispy. So let's just do that. You can see I've got little splodges of red paint in there and all sorts. And I think I need 3 for the middle, so I'll keep those 3 there. I'll just put that one in there too. Might be lovely. So I think I'll use those 3 there. So what I want to do with these, I just want to make these a little smaller. Like so. Curl them round and start building up. And you just want to manipulate those a little bit. Bring that one round there. Fold them over. And this one wants to go on there. Take it right round, like so. And that gives you that centre part. And just squidge that base. I'm going to cut that even smaller. There we go. So put a nice dollop of glue in there, just to hold it in place. And there we have the centre. Okay, obviously you can move those petals in. Depends on where you've put your glue, how much glue you've put on, as to how much of this you need to do. And then you need the stamens. Now, Marion showed you how to do this on the YouTube video, and this is a great technique, and I'm doing exactly the same. So a nice bunch of stamens. I didn't realise how useful these would become. Twist them a little bit because it's easier to handle. Fold them in half. Cut them. Hot glue. Be careful of your fingers, please. And while that's setting, we'll just pop some hot glue in there. A nice dollop. And then this, hopefully, will go in the middle. Now, while that's just settling, I'll just get a cocktail stick and just lift some of these up. Give them a little push down. So we've got some that are lying flat, some of that are sideways. Let's just get these out of there. Get them settled. And as the glue becomes cooler, it actually comes a lot easier to manipulate. She says, struggling away. That's better. I've got one that's sideways there. What I need is my tweezers. That would be the job to do. And just push those in. That's better. Now we've got it. As the glue dries, this is the lovely thing about hot glue, it becomes kind of rubbery, and you can manipulate these a little bit more so they're perfect. That's not too bad actually, I quite like that. And then with your stickles or anything else, use your glues and your glitters. Just give it a little bit of glue here, stickles glue.